everyone. This is our third episode of JustGaming podcast, and in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Avengers. We're going to talk about Ubisoft Forward, and Ubisoft is a company right now because that's a good topic. And then we're going to talk about Xbox One Series X and S. They have both have been announced to come out November 10th. I think it was November 10th. Yeah, November 10th. They announced also the prices, but we're going to talk about that and talk about like the two consoles and the difference in the price and everything. So, as always, I have Matt with me, my co-host. And today we have a special guest, one of my friends and one of the few people that actually played Avengers, Javier.
Happy to be here. Excited.
Okay, so let's just jump into the first topic, which is Avengers. So me and Javier actually bought the game, and we've played 20 hours, maybe a little bit more. Probably around that time. So we thought about just talking about a little bit of our feelings and our thoughts about the game, and what they did right, maybe what they did wrong, and what they can improve to make the game better as a whole. So I think, Javier, you can start. I'll jump.
Sure. I'll say I've been a Marvel fan probably my entire life. So when this game was announced in, I think it was 2017, was it?
2017, early 2017, yeah.
It was like a CG trailer, but I mean, I was stoked. I was really excited to see what they did with it. And I was a little bit cautious, granted, because I wasn't really familiar with Crystal Dynamics at the time. And I mean, I couldn't tell you who I've chosen, but when I heard about Square Enix behind it, I was like, that's an interesting choice. And it was also as awesome as an Avengers game sounds kind of on paper. I always thought how they would do that, what kind of genre would it be, because it just seems like something you have to be really careful handling. And so I finally, flash forward, played the beta, really enjoyed the beta. I should say also at the E3 demo and what they showed, I was excited and it looked promising. Like I was definitely starting to be more on board. And then when the beta came out, I was having a blast at first, and then I think as time went on, I started to see the cracks that people were pointing out, but it didn't really hinder how I felt about the game from release or announcement. And come the release, I had pre-ordered it. The beta sold me enough to where I pre-ordered it, because at the time, usually I'll wait till release and just pick it up. But I was pretty excited, and playing the game. No spoilers, but beating the story as well. I really could say that I thoroughly, really enjoyed it, had a blast. I thought the character interactions were great. The performances, for the most part, were pretty good. The cast is great. And then gameplay-wise, that's where I think people are tripped up the most, because personally, I don't really have too much of an issue with the repetitiveness. I think it kind of leans into the fact that it's like an IP that I care a lot about, so therefore I don't care about how kind of over and over again things are. But for the most part, the way each character plays, you really feel like that character. I think they do a good job portraying through movesets and even banter while you're playing a mission. It really feels, I guess, accurate to the source material. The one thing, and we'll get into it a little later, but there's certain characters that it's hard to make them feel really heavy hitting because of just how powerful they are in say the comics or the movies. But I think for the most part, I had a good time. And bug-wise, since that's what a lot of people are complaining about, I was one of the lucky people. I didn't have a whole lot of crazy bugs happening throughout my story playthrough or even online. The only issues I had were matchmaking towards the beginning of the release. But yeah, overall, I'd say I had a good time. Definitely aware of some of the problems that people are experiencing with it and how they feel about it. But for me, really, I wouldn't say there's a problem massive enough to where I'm I can't focus on playing it or it takes me out of it. So overall, I had a lot of fun with it. So yeah.
Okay. My feelings are mostly the same. I think the story is by far the strongest aspect about the game. I love the interaction between all the characters. Nolan North as Tony worked really well. I think the only thing I don't like about him, I don't think it's his problem. I think it's a writing problem. So I think Javier knows what I'm talking about. Like
Oh yeah.
his lines in the story are awesome, but when he gets out of the story, when you're actually playing with him and he has like his quips and
The
his
banter and
one-liners,
stuff. Yeah.
they are terrible. They're so bad.
They're so bad.
There's one where you use your ultimate. He just says, "Who you gonna call? Hulk Buster?" And Hulk Buster just randomly drops, and you're like, "Shut the fuck!
Yeah.
Please shut up! Please shut up!" So he's really good outside of that line. My favorite performance was Troy Baker as Banner. He was awesome. He was by far like even when he kind of feels like he's phoning it in, he's still awesome in the role. And
Yeah.
he's dynamic with Kamala. I don't know the actress name, but she
I
was also
forgot.
pretty good.
She's great. Yeah.
Kamala as a character was so well done, and it's really cool that they used her as basically a vessel into the story. Like you see through her eyes, and it's cool because she's basically a fangirl of the Avengers. So everything she feels, everything she says, it feels like it's us because I'm also a fanboy of Marvel. I love these characters. I love this world. Like it's really cool to see her as like the protagonist because Kamala as a character deserves more attention from every art form. Uh, I do like the combat, like Javier. I did enjoy combat. Like at first, I was like, "This is repetitive," but then again, and Javier knows this. I spent an entire day playing with Thor, like literally entire day playing with Thor. I wasn't bored. I I wasn't like last resort just playing Avengers because I have nothing better to do. I was generally enjoying doing some missions because that's also a cool thing I liked about the game. After you beat it, you have these iconic missions for each character. So basically, the story kind of continues for each character, and they go off. Well, not their solo adventure, but like it's mainly focused on each character. It's like there's a Thor iconic mission where it's mainly focused on Thor, and they tease an awesome villain. I don't know if they're gonna actually get it in the game, but they tease an awesome villain. And the Captain America is probably the worst mission because it's
Yeah.
kind of generic, but the other ones are pretty cool. And like I just enjoy playing with these characters. The only character I actually don't enjoy, and I've said this to Javier also a lot of times, is Hulk. Hulk is by far the worst character. Now I know like he's also the most like cliche one because he just punches and smashes everything, but it feels so like uninteresting. Like he's
Yeah.
just like punching things. His ultimate is basically his triangle, but I guess it's stronger. Like I had no fun with him. Like if you go check out my stats, I think like Thor is the my most powerful character, and then I think it's Cap, then Iron Man, then Widow and Kamal are basically tied, and then Hulk at like level 3 or something because I really don't like playing with Hulk. I did find a few bugs with the game, and some of them were pretty annoying. I had to restart the game a few times. There's a glitch I got really funny where everyone was basically Kamala. I was playing with Kamala, and everyone was Kamala around me, which is really weird. I got Iron Man Bolt. Apparently, he has no air anymore. Uh, yeah, it's a good game. It's a decent game. I think there's a few problems they should work on. Mainly the gear system. I hate the gear system. It's pointless. There's no reason they should have added a gear system because the gear you actually use has no effect other than making the mission harder or easier for you. That's it. There's no cosmetic side to it. There's no like they some of them have perks, but the perks don't work. So I don't know what's the point in adding them if they're not going to be relevant. Um, yeah, I think honestly that's like my biggest problem with the game. It's everything around the game after you finish, which is basically the repetitive missions because you have like Warzone and Drop Zone, which is basically domination. If you play domination on Call of Duty, that's basically it. It's basically like capture the zone. It's super generic and kind of uninteresting. And the gear system, which is something that should like take you and you should like that should be your incentive to keep playing the game, is trash and it's just not good at all. Um, yeah, if I had mainly my complaints are they have to add diversity to the missions, because the missions feel all the same, and it kind of ruins the aftermath experience, I guess, if you could say. Like, after you beat the story, you should be able, like, you should feel incentivized, not incentivized, but like, you should feel a need to keep going. You should feel like, okay, this was great, I want to keep upgrading my characters, I want to play more. But everything just feels so generic and so bland. Like, there's no reason to keep going other than just when you finish the story. And I know they're going to add new characters, and I know they're going to add other features, and I think that's one of the strongest aspects when it comes to Crystal Dynamics. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
It's Crystal Dynamics. Yeah. One of the strongest aspects is because, like, they're going to continue developing stuff for the game. They're going to add new characters. Kate Bishop and Hawkeye come out in, like, what, a month?
I think
it's October, right?
Kate is November.
Oh, so Hawkeye is first, and then
yeah,
Kate.
it's like monthly. Yeah.
So, yeah, and there's rumors that Black Panther is going to drop in December. Spidey it's 2021, but I think it's early 2021. So, like, they seem to go in the right way, but they kind of failed at the main product. So I still enjoy the game. I give it like a 6.5 out of 10. I think it's a decent game, but if I had to be honest, I would highly recommend waiting to see the product in like a year. It's similar to Battlefront 2. I think all of you played Battlefront 2. The game was kind of trash when it came out, and now it's very, very good. But it took them a while to fix what was wrong about the game. So I think Avengers can actually work in the future, and I hope they do that. Oh, also another thing, it kind of pissed me off. This is an Avengers game. So you have 6 different characters, which means you have a lot of different villains you can use, because you can use different villains from the teams, or you could use different villains from each character. So, like, for example, Iron Man Mandarin, Captain America Red Skull. So you could use a lot of villains. They use 2, other than MODOK. You have MODOK, Taskmaster, which is pretty cool, and Abomination. That's it. And I was like, okay, other than that, basically the other villains are bots, are basically jacked up bots. That's it. Which was kind of disappointing, because you have this roster of villains you can use, and you just don't. I don't know, it's weird to me. And like I said, they do tease that they will add more villains, but like, adding, for example, if you had a lot of missions and each mission would like take you to a villain, it doesn't have to be a fleshed out mission. It just could be like something simple that in the end takes you, for example, against Red Skull. That would have been way more fun. Imagine, like, when you finish the game, you still have like all these loose ends to correct, and at the end of these loose ends, you could be like a chain of missions. At the end of each loose end, you have a big boy, like a Red Skull, or like I said, Mandarin, or even, like, I don't know, even Kang. Okay, no, maybe not Kang. But like, you can use these characters, because I don't think Marvel is not letting you use them. I think it was personal choice. I don't know, but like, you could use all these characters, and you use just Abomination and Taskmaster, and basically they overuse them, because I think Javier knows this. Like, there's a lot of missions where you fight Taskmaster over and over and over again. And Abomination the same. Like, you fight him over and over again. And I was like, okay, give me something. And the one mission where it seemed like they would lead me into another villain, an awesome villain. I don't want to spoil if you haven't played the game. It's like, okay, thank you for playing. We will probably add him in the next update or something. But for now, you don't get him. And I was like, okay. So that was sad. Yeah, that's like those are my main problems, to be honest. It's the gear, the bugs, but although the bugs have been updated, a lot of them have been updated already, so most of them are gone by now. The gear system is horrible. The missions are kind of repetitive, and yeah, those are like my biggest takeaways. And the graphics wise isn't that good, but to me, graphics don't really matter that much. So yeah. I don't know if Matt wants to ask us anything, or
like I only played the beta, and that really turned me off from the game. Like from the little things. Like I feel like it's a big thing. Like I feel like you mentioned how much you like Thor. I got so bored of Thor. Like and I know you only play him in the beta.
You play him for like 2 minutes.
But I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm throwing like Mjolnir, like his giant hammer, and it feels like I'm throwing like a toothpick or something. Like from the sound effect, which doesn't like. I wish they had chosen like a sound effect that feels like it has like more like impact instead of just like
I can see
feeling
it.
like I'm throwing this lightweight thing around or something.
I actually love Thor, but yeah, I can totally understand what you're saying.
And I know everyone across the earth has made this comparison, but like I guess I'm gonna make it too. I wish it felt like the Leviathan ads in God of War.
From God of War. That's exactly what I said.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's a good.
Like I was like, this feels like a discount dollar store version of that. And maybe that's not fair. I don't know, but I mean,
it's only fair.
If there's something,
in
my opinion, better. And I agree that like from what I saw, the story and the characters' interaction were by far the best part. But I mean, like honestly, like and I'm a huge Marvel fan too. And I actually, for me, in the beta, Kamala was the funnest or the most fun. Yeah, because like she and maybe I'm biased. She felt a lot like Spider-Man. Like gameplay wise and just character wise, like I think that character is the 21st century Spider-Man kind of in a sense. Yeah, no, I think I've actually heard a lot of complaints about that you play as Kamala a lot in the story.
Oh yeah,
she's very much the main character. Yeah.
She is the main character because everything that happens is like through her. Like
okay, and which I actually really like that idea, but like a lot of the complaints I've heard is that like it's called Avengers and you don't even play as the Avengers.
I don't care about that. To me, it's also called Last of Us Part 2, not called Joel Part 2. People get angry because the titles are not exactly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I don't really mind. Plus, she's on the cover, like she's like front and center, which is awesome. Yeah, no, I don't really have that much to add other than I played the beta. I wasn't very interested.
Now that you mentioned
everything that you guys have said, kind of was the sense that I got. Like, yeah, the story and characters are really cool. The like the actual gameplay doesn't really wow me.
That's fair.
Yeah, can I just point out one thing? Like, I went for the beta, and it literally took me. Maybe I'm just an idiot, which is entirely possible. But like, it took me 20 minutes to figure out the stupid email verification thing. Like, I logged in, like, okay,
I heard a lot of people were struggling with that.
You gotta now submit to this email, and then you gotta do the code,
you played the open beta,
difficult.
Right? You played the open beta, not the closed one.
Yeah,
the open. So maybe that's why you had more trouble, because there were more people playing the open beta, while the closed beta, I don't know. I had no problem because all I had to do is
even for me the process was a little bit janky. Like I was pressing
you had to like put in the code, and then like, okay, now you have to create this Square Enix account, and then okay, now you're gonna get your the download code on your email, and you use that on your PlayStation.
I'm like, there must have been an easier way, because I almost didn't play the beta because I was, you know what, I could go back to playing any of the other games and not waste all this time doing this.
I know it's like the new thing, but I'm really not a big fan of games that have you like email login to their service or whatever.
Yeah,
I think they want you to set up an account and everything, because I do believe the game is going to go cross-play and cross-save. So maybe that's why.
Cool.
I have my development, or I have my characters upgraded on the PS4. I want to play it on PC with you, for example. It's everything there. So I don't know. That's my guess. But now that you mentioned, there's something about the story that I noticed. Hulk barely, like as a playable character, is barely in the game, in the playable story. Now that I think about it.
See, that's weird, because in the beta it was actually
mainly focused on Kamala and Hulk.
Yeah, like besides Kamala.
Wait, you liked Hulk?
Wise? yeah, I really enjoy. And again,
So
maybe
I
it's
loved him in the character in the game as a character.
no, but,
I
like,
hated
he
him
was
as playable.
again. Like I'm talking about like impact. Like when you're on like the Golden Gate Bridge and you're like just smashing things and
So
stuff.
you
I was
felt
like,
it
yeah, this
more
is.
with Hulk than Thor.
I felt it way more with Hulk, and then like also I was like, you could do stuff with Hulk where I was like, yeah, that's really cool. Like, grab up like piece of ground and just throw it at someone, or you could like grab an enemy and like I was like, yeah, that feels so much more creative than anything Thor did. Like maybe he gets more. Does he get more moves?
You can unlock more, yeah.
Yeah, you
but
can
yeah,
unlock more. That's
'cause, like,
something I
his,
forgot
like,
to mention.
His
now that I think
ultimate
about it.
was really like just like he did this huge thing, and then like I thought it was gonna be like a shockwave or something, and it just he's got lightning around him. Like that was my impression. But yeah, no, Hulk was my favorite. Like besides Kamala, gameplay wise, because I felt like there was actual impact to his like punches and his throws, which is great because he's Hulk, and like versus Thor, where I've talked about why I didn't like Thor, but like Hulk, you could grab something from the ground and like throw it at an enemy. You could grab an enemy, toss the enemy around. Which, by the way, like I like the opening of the game, I'm like, they're like murdering hundreds of
Yeah.
people.
Oh, for
Like,
sure. Here's the thing,
it's
though.
like-
Mostly, most like NPCs are robots for the game.
yeah, I think that's partly
It's-
why they did that.
Yeah.
Which is still like I'm like, look, let's just not like with Marvel, the majority of their characters like kill people, and it's like I feel like we should just accept that. And whether like I get like this, I remember real quick the Spider-Man game for PS4. I'm like,
Mhm.
you're killing that person. That like Spider-Man. There's
No,
way.
actually, no, actually.
There's this
in
this
Spider-Man,
fantastic.
There's a good like Easter egg. I guess not Easter
Well,
egg.
yeah,
but
where if
little
you throw
mechanic.
someone off the roof,
Yeah,
it gets
some
attached to a
weird
web.
ass like web thing.
Yeah, sure,
shoots
but
them
then he
grabs
also
them.
one of the stealth moves is you like web someone up and then yank their head into like this
Well,
metal pillar, and
Yeah,
it's like okay.
I think it's fair that they do what they do with like the
no, no,
combat.
no, for
because
sure. I just think
if
it's
it wasn't like
hilarious.
that, it would probably be boring. Like, oh,
Yeah,
touching.
no, absolutely. You can't be like, oh, I need to make sure the moves are. It's just like this. It's this thing that plagues the comics, the movies, no matter what. Like, it was just like a funny thing where I was like, wow, they're definitely slaughtering all of these. Like, I mean, granted, they're all like henchmen who are trying to like cause damage. Still, so basically, I was underwhelmed by the beta. Everything that you guys are saying kind of is the feeling that I got, which I guess is cool that the beta was a really good snapshot representation of the game. But yeah, I was really intrigued by the story. I might honestly just look up the cutscenes because yeah, the gameplay I got really bored, and that was just in the beta, and it's a shame, but it is what it is. Maybe they'll improve. Who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say the one thing that I actually felt like it was improved from the beta was, I don't know if it was improved or just like locked in the beta, but the upgrades are actually pretty nice. Like, for example, when you start off, I think like my most upgraded character is probably Cap, and Cap has some really cool combos you can do. Like, for example, in the beta you could only do like what, 2 attacks, and in the game now with everything just upgraded, it's so cool. Like, you can select multiple targets to throw your shield, and when the shield is coming to you, if you press quickly R2, he'll throw the shield again. Like, he will literally kick the shield again, so it goes and hits the same targets again one more time. You can like hold the shield like with your hand and then punch it, so you can like stun a lot of enemies. The upgrade system is actually pretty good, while in the beta it was kind of trash. I didn't like all the upgrades you
They had
could
a lot of stuff
unlock.
locked, right?
What?
Most of it was locked, right? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think no. You actually no. I think 2 out of the 3 pages you can unlock. The last page was the only one that was locked. I think so. But I think also like the reason why you in this game, I think in the game you can go up to level, I think 100. That's the, or 50 or 100. I don't know. And in the beta you can only go up to level 10. So I guess you couldn't unlock a lot of things in the beta. But from what I had seen, it seemed like there was mostly bland upgrades, but actually they're pretty cool. I really like the upgrade system. Okay, so we can call it for now on Avengers. We'll keep you updated if there's any more content worthwhile talking about. And we are going to talk about Ubisoft now. Ubisoft had its Ubisoft Forward. When was it? A week ago? No, it was Wednesday. Last
No,
Wednesday, right?
It was,
Yeah.
Last Wednesday or Friday or Thursday, something. Yeah. And they announced a bunch of stuff. I don't know if it was important or not, but we're going to talk about it. So, guys, what were your favorite announcements of the brilliant Ubisoft Forward?
Yeah, I didn't really. I honestly didn't really care about anything that was announced. I guess, like I thought it was hilarious that the Prince of Persia remake looked terrible.
I have been saying that,
right?
It looks so bad. Everyone's saying, "Oh yes, bro, it looks like a PS3 game. How are they gonna sell this as a remake, as a remaster?"
No, someone compared it to like the first Uncharted, and it like.
I think Uncharted looks better.
Yeah,
it's too like flat. You know, like the textures aren't even. It's just a lot of it is flat.
Man, I want to get into Prince of Persia because it's like. I'm like half Persian or whatever, and I'm like, come on, this is gonna be my game, and I'm like, it just looks so like meh.
Yeah, it was pretty meh. I think my favorite announcement out of all of them was actually Scott Pilgrim getting a remastered version of the game, because like I have never played it, and I love the movie. Like it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So like, I always felt like, man, I should have played this when I had the chance, but now I can play it on like, I don't know, I'm probably gonna get it for the Switch because I feel like those games are like made for the Switch, like beat 'em ups and games like that. So like I'm gonna get it for the Switch, but the game looks pretty good, and that was probably the only thing I cared about in the entire Forward. The Ubisoft Forward was the most pointless thing ever. Okay. Oh, sorry, yeah, go. Sorry.
No, I agree. You're good. I was gonna say for me, I was on the same boat. Just like didn't really care for the majority of the announcements. Watchdog, what's the new one called? Legion, right?
Oh,
Legion.
Yeah. Watchdog Legion.
I really liked the second one actually. Like I mean, it wasn't a perfect game, but I enjoyed my time playing that one. And so it's weird. Like when that was first announced, the third one I was pretty pumped, but as time went on, I'm just kind of not feeling it, which is weird because it looks like they're making a lot of like. Just
I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, like, no, and I definitely like how you can almost recruit anyone. It seems cool. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe I've just kind of gotten over it. I'm not really feeling it anymore. So I'd agree with Pedro probably because I also love the movie and I've never played the game. So I'll probably pick that up for my Switch, the Scott Pilgrim thing. And then even though it doesn't look much better, maybe if I have the spare change and the money or whatever, I'll pick up Prince of Persia because I've also never played it. And it's one of those games series that I've just wanted to try and be able to say I played. Is that even the first one in the series, or is that just like
I don't think so.
Yeah, I need to get
quite a few of them.
Honestly, isn't this game the one they based on the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal? Isn't the Jake Gyllenhaal Prince of Persia movie Sands of Time? That's the only thing I knew. Like I was like, oh, okay, they're basically doing the movie but in game form.
Yeah, no, the Jake Gyllenhaal. I was gonna say Jake Gyllenhaal movie is Sands of Time. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
I've seen the movie, never played the game.
Yeah, I love the movie. It was a movie I used to watch a lot when I was a kid.
Oh my god, that movie!
I know Jake Gyllenhaal was definitely Persian.
Bro, when I was a kid, that thing was fire. I love it.
Oh my god!
Now maybe if I
had the Lego sets.
That was like legitimately the first movie where I was like, oh, whitewashing is a thing. Like
they definitely whitewashed. It was no thanks, no.
And like that was the first movie that made me go like, oh, yeah, okay.
I look back at that and I'm like, how did Jake Gyllenhaal say yes to that? Like, not even.
I mean, wasn't Jake?
But that just doesn't seem like a. What?
Yeah,
I'm gonna check, but I think the movie came out when Jake was still like not that known.
Maybe.
No, that was after he did like Zodiac. So I think they were trying to be like, look, here's your big action movie star. But anyways, he's now Mysterio. So
Well, yeah, it was after he did Brokeback Mountain, Zodiac, and
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
yeah, those two at least. Like those two were big movies. So yeah,
I don't know, maybe he
I
just
mean the
wanted to
Disney
be-
check is too
he
good.
wanted to do and also like, hey, like be a big blockbuster star, like
Yeah, I guess he
I'm
hadn't
sure.
done a blockbuster, so that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe like, okay, I'll try this one. So,
Yeah.
I feel like they would have definitely made that a franchise if it was successful.
Oh yeah,
for
totally.
sure. I think they were expecting more. Was it a flop? I don't even know. Did it flop?
I
think it
don't
did.
know.
But also another game that they announced was not God and Monsters apparently. Now it's called Immortal or something like that. Basically PG God of War. And honestly, I like what I saw. I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of YouTubers, like actual gaming YouTubers, got to play the game for like 3 hours, and they uploaded their content after Ubisoft Forward.
Yeah.
So one of the YouTubers I follow posted his like reaction, and he posted his gameplay footage he had, and the game looked pretty cool. It reminded me a lot of Breath of the Wild. Not that it's going to be as good as Breath of the Wild, probably won't, but the art style and like some of the climbing mechanics and flying mechanics reminding me a lot of Breath of the Wild. It looks decent. I'm not gonna say I'm like putting literally out of my like wanted list per se, but it looks decent, and I'm gonna keep an eye on it because I'm curious if it's actually going to be decent. I was surprised they said nothing about Assassin's Creed. Nothing.
Me
Like
too.
they didn't talk anything about Assassin's
I mean,
Creed.
we know quite a bit, but I mean, they
I
didn't show
know,
anything,
but
which really
it's your big
surprised me.
title. It's your big title of the year. You might
Yeah.
as well like give her more like advertisement. They ended it with a stupid ass bike game or whatever that was. Ubisoft always does these weird ass
Couldn't believe it.
visions.
Like,
Honestly, they should have ended it
now,
with Just Dance.
one more thing.
Might as well end it with Just Dance.
Yeah.
At least
I
Just Dance is
couldn't
popular and
believe
known.
how they were like treating that weird like snowboard dirt bike game as like this
Oh,
mic
yeah.
drop. Like they're like, one more thing, guys.
Ubisoft
And,
is a strange
they-
thing.
It was so
Oh,
weird.
man.
I
Do
actually
you
really-
guys? I meant to ask. Do you guys like it? Just in history back before, have you always liked their games? Have there been things you really liked from
Ubisoft?
them?
I
Oh, he loves it. He adores Ubisoft.
I've loved their Assassin's Creed games. I've
Oh, yeah.
loved their Far Cry games. I don't know if I'm gonna buy Valhalla just because of not Valhalla. Sorry, yeah, it is Valhalla.
It's Valhalla,
because
you're right.
yeah, because of everything that's going on. I don't know if I can like morally
Yeah, no.
be okay with it now,
get
but
that.
yeah, no, I love their games, even their more recent Assassin's Creed game, because
With
I
me,
actually
it's
yeah.
it seems like it's kind of a bummer, honestly. But lately, I was a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I got into Far Cry with 3, and then I kind of went back and played a little bit of it, and I really enjoyed those. But like as of late, I don't know if I'm just losing interest or because I mean, granted, some of them I haven't played, so they, for all I know, some of the later ones could be incredible or something. But I remember like Assassin's Creed, especially because that was what I was really a fan of when 3 came around. It's been a long time, so I'm just gonna say it.
I'm not a fan
But
of
towards
3.
the end, when Desmond dies, I was like, "Where are we taking this story now?" And then I kind of tuned out from there. Black Flag was good. Unity was actually the last one I played, so I have not played in a while. But yeah, for me, 2 was the peak of the series.
They're very, very different now. Like that, just on every level. Like gameplay wise, they're completely different. A lot of people don't have taken like a lot of Assassin's Creed fans have taken issue with the gameplay, but I think I was like, look, it's time to switch it up a bit. And it's much more like arcadey kind of the gameplay. Which I actually prefer, because for me, one of my biggest issues with Assassin's Creed before they changed it up was that the gameplay was like way too easy. Like it was literally just like
No, yeah.
on PC it was like right click, right click, and you're just like one-shotting everyone. This one, it's like actually like legitimately pretty difficult sometimes, and they also play with like, oh yeah, you have like abilities now, which I to me just makes it more interesting. And like the whole history and like you can walk around these super detailed recreations of ancient cities. Like that's still there. And to me, that's my favorite part about these games.
Yeah.
I legitimately passed my history class in high school
Oh
because I
yeah, me
played
too. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, and I would like read all like the different buildings and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't like Valhalla. Looks like more of Odyssey, more of Origins, which seems really fun to me. I just don't know if I'm playing it. Real quick before we talk about other stuff, I think that we should just mention the fact that they were like, "Hey, Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs 1.
Oh yeah,
He's in Legion."
I was that at the Ford because I saw a tweet about it. I didn't know if that was.
No, it was at the
announced.
Ford.
No,
and
it was.
promoted.
It was.
And they promoted as a DLC. It's not even in the game.
I think you need the season pass or something.
Yeah,
I
something
need
like
season
that.
pass.
Like,
and they said
I got to admit, when I saw that, I got a little excited. Like they kind of hooked me with that.
They
But
said
I don't
that
know if I'm gonna.
if you don't, even if you don't get Legion, you can get him separately and just play his own side of the story. Basically, it's a standalone game. You can get it for like $20, I think, and it's basically the game with standalone, I guess.
oh boy.
It's really weird, to be honest. What Legion to me like looks. I know they're promoting is a really
is
cool
weird.
thing where you can get like you can
Pedro?
use any
Pedro.
NPC.
You kind of
Yeah, to start now because you went like super speed talking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was saying that it's cool that Watch Dogs looks like this game where any
It
NPC.
just happened. Okay, wait. Try it again now. I think
third
you're
time's
good.
the charm.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, now you're
yes,
good. It was
now
just
we can.
choppy. Try again.
Go for it. You got
Okay.
this.
I was saying Watch Dogs looks like this game where you can use any NPC as the character, but at what point is that they're gonna have that different of a character? Like, for example, like are they gonna have that many different styles of playable characters, or are they just gonna like put people in a group? For example, like you have the older NPCs, so they all play similarly, and then you have like the hip NPCs, and they all play similar. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if I'm getting my
for sure.
point across.
I think that's what it's gonna be like. But who knows? Like maybe it's gonna be this huge, ambitious thing that is genre defining. But I don't know. I feel like they would have. If that was the case, I feel like they would have done a lot less showcasing of like, you like the grandma, right? Let's show her every single time. Look, she's a grandma.
I don't know
That's
how
funny,
anyone
right?
can look at that and think this is funny. This is fun. I'm gonna
Did
play
you
with the
guys
grandpa.
play any of the past games?
I
Watch
played
Dogs?
a bit of the first
I played
game,
the first one.
and I was
Almost
really
everything.
underwhelmed.
Yeah, I never got. I only played
It's
the
not
second one.
bad. It's not bad,
Yeah.
but it's decent.
It's like it's like Ubisoft the game. Like, here, go to this area and unlock, and then just rinse and repeat. And the problem I had was that I didn't care at all about Aiden.
I kind of hope with what they're doing with Aiden, we do get. I forgot his name. Marcus from the second game, because I actually prefer Marcus a lot more as a protagonist from what I've seen of Aiden, because I didn't really play it myself the first game.
Aiden is
But
basically just like depressed.
the most generic depressed
Old.
character.
But that's the other thing. They have a shot to really flesh him out in this, so who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
he'll be even more of a character.
So, since we're talking about Ubisoft, we're gonna get into another topic about Ubisoft because I think it's important people discuss this. And so, Ubisoft has been on a weird role right now when it comes to bad news.
Controversy.
So I don't know if you guys know about it, but apparently, Matt, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of Ubisoft workers came forward saying them a lot of work assault accusations and sex assault accusations have been dismissed by the Ubisoft
It's
higher ups per se.
There's this I feel really bad now because I can't remember which website published it, but there's this really good piece done that basically outlines like every, and I'm sure it's not even everything that happened there, but like so much. I just remember like I was reading it and I was like, it just keeps going and going and going and going, and like from like people going to HR and HR being like, oh, shut up, you'll be fine, to like one of the Ubisoft higher ups would like just go behind someone and just like give them massages, and then if you like told them to not, you like would get in trouble, to like the fact that Ubisoft is owned by a group of brothers and apparently they can just do whatever they want.
Jesus.
To this one female developer said that she basically, once she made a complaint, she got told, okay, so you're moving to this other area, like this complete in another country or something. And she moved, and within a month she left because that place was so toxic. And it just like, oh my god, like it's horrific. Like after I read that, I was fine. I'm like, yeah, no, I can't buy one of their games until they fix this. And the thing that really like, excuse me, pisses me off is that they were like, oh, they sent in a tweet with a video of the CEO being like, oh yeah, some of our employees have not met our standards. And then someone was like, why didn't you put this in Ubisoft Forward? And they're like, oh, scheduling, we didn't have time to put it. And then it's like,
they're
really?
They're
You didn't have
trying
time?
to like,
Yeah. Like they're trying to just like sweep it under the rug, which is what they have been doing this entire time. And it just goes to show like the arrogance of the people who do this, who think that they can get away with it. That even now that it's like out in the public, they still, and they probably, the sad thing is they probably will get away with a lot of it because there's so much bad stuff going on in the world right now. But they're just constantly just trying to be like, oh, that's fine, you can move on, you can move on.
I'm actually curious, did they address the game where that there was a cutscene where like the protesters and the bad guys were using the Black Lives Matter symbol, which is
I don't
just
think we've gotten anything.
No, I don't think.
disgusting to say the least.
If we have, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they like cut together this like live action clip trailer or something, and it showed like
it was for like an
Black Lives Matter as like terrorists.
Wasn't it a game? I thought it was a game. Cancelled.
I thought it was like a game, but like an app. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it, and like you looked into like who the heads of Ubisoft are, and some of them are like pretty right wing extreme. So again, it just like that company is, unfortunately, it seems like just a cesspool of like bigotry and sexism.
Here's the thing: most gaming companies
I know companies
are
suck.
bad. Yeah, companies.
I know companies suck, but like,
but when it comes to like, there's different types of sucking, I guess. So, for example, when people say Naughty Dog sucks, it sucks because they do crunching, but a lot of companies do crunching as well. So, like, it's nothing. Like, to me, yeah, I'm not saying it's not a problem and they shouldn't fix it, but
it doesn't compare to something.
It doesn't compare to something when it comes to what Ubisoft is doing. And honestly, I was never a big Ubisoft fan. After seeing that, it made me even less of a fan. And I don't have any plans on getting any of their games right now. I guess Scott Pilgrim, it was the only one I was thinking of getting. But to be honest, I won't go back to supporting them until they fully admit this and do something about this, because this
until they actually, until they actually have like the
change,
actually, like the, not the bravery, but the decency to actually address it in an area where they think it will get a lot of traction and a lot of attention. Like when they don't post a quick clip on their Twitter and just hope like, yeah, that's enough. And like tons of people, like big industry people, were calling them out too for that. Like, I can't remember his name, but the guy who does the video game awards.
Jeff Nightly?
Jeff Healy.
Nightly?
Keighley.
Yeah,
Really?
Jeff Keighley.
Something like that, yeah.
Someone asked, like, why didn't you put this in your Ubisoft Forward? And they gave the total BS excuse of, oh, we didn't have enough time to like.
Yeah,
add
man.
this.
The Ubisoft
And he
Forward
was like,
was real.
yeah, and he was,
long.
and he like responded to being like, that's like he basically was saying that's bullshit.
Mm.
And
I'm happy
yeah,
he addressed that actually.
Yeah, I really hope that this doesn't. I mean, obviously, of course, I hope that this doesn't get swept under the rug. But that shows to me like a snapshot of that whole problem that's plaguing their company right now, and this whole thing in general. Like, where like people just think they can get away with it because they have gotten away with it, like tons of times. Like that Ubisoft HR was just like, oh, whatever, just sweep it under the rug. And they're doing it right now. They're like, oh, whatever. Like, even when the general public now knows about this, they're still like, oh, we'll just sweep it under the rug. It's fine. It'll go away. So I really hope that they change their tune because, unfortunately, even with all this outrage, if Ubisoft as a company doesn't change, if the heads at Ubisoft, who are largely responsible for this, that's the problem, don't change something, I don't think anything concrete will come from this, unfortunately. But here's hoping because we need a win in 2020. Good God. So
the other thing is like this isn't even a matter of like one disgruntled employee who wants to say this. I mean, we have several people who are saying and it's all lining up. It's like you can't just. I mean, you shouldn't sweep it under the rug at all, but like, it's not just one person you can like try to hush up. This is a whole movement of people almost. Yeah.
Hopefully they do something. I'm skeptical because it's literally the people who are in charge who are facilitating this environment. And I don't think that they're going to do anything other than lip service because they're in charge and they don't have to. So, yeah.
Let's hope. And now, speaking.
And one quick thing.
Sure.
Something. It also this idea of like the boys' club in Ubisoft extended into their games because they talked about how like there was like some people were like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should just have an Assassin's Creed game with a female protagonist, and like they wanted to in Origins. Pedro, did you ever play Origins?
No, actually, no.
Okay, well,
you're the sister,
I know what
right?
you're talking about because I did see that story.
Yeah, because I was playing that game, and I kept thinking, like, why am I not playing as Aya, the wife of the main character of Origins? Because this just like again, like it's a snapshot of how stupid their mentality is. The game Assassin's Creed Origins is about the origin of the Assassin's Creed, right? But the character you play as isn't the first assassin. The wife, Aya, founds the Assassin Order. So I'm like, why aren't you playing as her? And like, you play as her for like a few sections, like very lightly. But like, apparently the original idea was to have you play as her. But like Ubisoft put their foot down and was like, no, female protagonist, that's a bad idea. And then again in Odyssey, the canon protagonist is Cassandra, but they like shoehorned, like you want to talk about forced diversity.
That's forced diversity. I did play Odyssey and
to play and I have a feeling that it was last minute because the guy who plays Alexios is, I'm sorry, terrible. Like in his line delivery. Like
100%
so
terrible.
Bad. Like, and he's the cover of the game. Like, even though he's not the actual canon protagonist.
That's really weird.
So
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I did play Odyssey for most part. I play like half of the game, and I remember like I actually started with the male because I had no idea which one I was going for. I was like, okay, is this the same? And I remember I started with male. I played like 2 hours in. I was like, no, I hate him. I'm going to switch to Cassandra. And I never looked back. And I know, it wasn't the news saying that they wanted to go with Cassandra, but they added a male because, well, we got to have a male character.
Because they're worried that not enough people
But
would
that,
buy
so why don't you? So now that everyone is like, no, you can do that. That's fine. So why aren't you doing it with Valhalla? Because the same exact thing happened with Valhalla. They're saying they are saying the main character is the female, but you can use the male character as well. So if the
Yeah,
it's
they
the
said something like, "Oh, both of them are kind of can." So I think they'll do this stupid thing where it's like,
They don't
"Oh,
want to give
the
you
other
a
one
like
is
certain answer.
doing stuff over there or something."
wasn't
It's
like they have done Assassin's Creed games with female leads.
yeah,
There
but like
was
that was like a
Liberation is a
PS3
female,
exclusive
Liberation,
or something.
and it's a great
Yeah,
game.
and
It's better
I've
than
heard it's
Assassin's Creed
really
3.
good.
It's
Yeah.
better than Assassin's Creed 3, which is supposed to be like the
Well, it's not-
real Assassin's Creed game.
It's
That's
not too
not
hard,
that
yeah.
difficult.
No, I like Assassin's Creed 3. It's fine.
I tried playing it because I got it for free with Odyssey,
Mhm.
and oh my god, I got like 4 hours in. I'm like, that's it. I can't
Yeah.
do this.
I don't think it's awful, but I remember getting it on release, and that was when the hype for the series overall was just kind of dying down for me, and I wasn't feeling the magic I felt with like one.
Well,
two,
it also
Brotherhood.
and it
Well,
also highlighted how much I prefer the
did-
new gameplay.
Did you all play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood? Because the game
I
isn't
did.
that good, but the multiplayer is
Well,
Oh yeah, no, the
great.
multiplayer.
Adds
That's
so
the
much
best.
Which
potential.
one
of
is your
best
favorite in the
things.
series overall?
It's Black Flag actually.
For me?
For me, it's Black
For
Flag.
both.
I don't know.
Black
Matt. Odyssey?
For me, it's probably Odyssey. Honestly, like
I'm just
it-
too attached to 2. Like I love
Yeah,
2.
no, for
No,
sure.
2 is my
Definitely,
second
I
favorite
think-
one. I would say
yeah.
Black Flag 2 and Odyssey are like the best of the best.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think Odyssey is the
protagonist-wise,
only
too, I prefer
one.
Ezio.
Odyssey is the only one that to me is fully recaptured that sense of, because each game after 2 they kept trying to be like, how can we make it this tragic tale and have something terrible happen. This is the only game since then that to me, and I haven't played Unity, but to me really captured that feeling of like you grow attached to the character and you see what this terrible thing has happened to them and you see them build back up. And because it's an RPG in that you can choose your dialogue options, there's
Mhm.
different endings too.
Oh, okay.
And I got like the worst ending, and I think that I heard that that's the canon one, and it just fits. It just fits that like your character goes through this horrific tragedy, and then it ends in another tragedy, but it still ends on this like kind of bittersweet note. Anyways, I that to me was one of the best parts of the game. But anyways,
since we're talking about companies,
Ubisoft is kind of trash.
since we're talking about companies,
So-
let's talk about another company that is not trash. It's just weird right now.
Regular trash.
Xbox has finally announced, and it was the first one going forward with it, announced the prices and the release of Xbox Series X, and also announced their discless digital version of the Xbox, which is Xbox Series 1S. No, sorry, it's Xbox Series S. Both coming out in November 10th, I think. And Series S is $299, and Xbox Series X is $499. So, but I also announced that the digital version won't run the games optimized for next gen. Sorry, not the newer games, the older games. So Xbox Series X is going to optimize all the Xbox 360, Xbox games, but Series S is not going to optimize them. They're going to have their own optimization, which is really weird. So,
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about that. I can go first, I guess. In my opinion, Xbox nailed it. And I've done 2 episodes of this podcast, and I'm pretty sure the first one I completely gave Xbox a hard time, and the second one I also kind of gave Xbox, not Xbox, but the Halo company 347, no
343.
343. Thank you. Company for kind of messing everything up, but Xbox really did a good job here. I think the price for the Series X is completely fine. It's a decent price. It's the price I expected for both consoles. I don't know if PS5 is going to go the same price. I assume so, but Xbox did a great job with the Series X price, and their digital version they completely destroyed PlayStation, in my opinion. PlayStation is not going to match the $299. They're going to have it for like $399. And I guess PlayStation is going to have more things in their digital version, but people only care about the next gen. I don't care what people say that, oh no, I want to play old games. No, you don't. You want to play the next generation. If you want to play old games, you'll play on your PS4, on your PS3, or Xbox One, or Xbox 360, whatever. You want to play the next gen. And the $299 version, the digital version, allows you that for a way cheaper price. That's $200 of a difference. And to me, it's not worth it because I love having my games physical. But I know a lot of people that don't care. They'll get it digitally if they have to. They don't really need to have it physical. So for that people, $299 for a next gen console, that's incredible. And the console seems really fit when it comes to size. So that's also a great thing. And like, I just think everything about this Series X was really well done. I don't really understand what's the point of the optimization thing. It's so weird. I guess they have to take something out to make the $299 price, but in my opinion, Xbox really did good with the prices, and honestly, I think they had to be the ones going first with the prices and pre-orders and release dates, because they were the ones that people were like, okay, so you're not giving us any launch titles, you're not giving us any updates on those said launch titles, except Halo, and the only update you gave us was it's going to be delayed. So like they had to correct it somehow, and I think they did a good job when it comes to the next gen consoles. But I guess we'll give Javier first because he's an Xbox chill. So
so yeah, it's no secret. I'm definitely I've always been a big Xbox fan, especially when I started online gaming. It was through my 360 and so forth. But I'll admit, as time has gone on, I'm definitely, I think, leaning more towards Sony's side of things. But this whole kind of announcement really did make me feel a lot better about where they're going, because especially the price. The price is what's really, I wouldn't say it shocked me, like, so like just wow, I didn't expect it. But it's definitely a really good, and I feel like it's going to mostly benefit people who maybe aren't very hardcore into gaming, don't care about physical media per se as much as some people. That price is really going to draw them in, I think, and that might be the direction they go rather than. And as for the backwards compatibility thing, I love playing old games, I'll admit, but I'm not, like, it's not something I need. Like, I didn't need to play like the old Halos, like maximize the best they've ever looked, you know. Like, for me, it's just the fun of playing like the game again from so long ago. So it is a little odd, like Pedro said, that's my biggest, not issue, but it's just very weird that they would just kind of pluck that out. But like you said, it's probably just to make room for the other things they need and the price to match. But overall, I think it's a really good move, because you kind of have both sides of things now. Like, I'm very much physical media person, so if I do end up getting it, I'm going to get the Series X. But it's cool that now people have that kind of option if they don't want to put that much down. So, yeah, I think this is a good move for them. And I think it's a step in the right direction. They just have to worry about Halo now.
Matt?
I don't really have that much to say on it, only that I feel like if I was Sony, I would, and I got this from listening to this one podcast that has Alana Pierce and like Troy Baker and like two other people, but they were saying like, look, I would be trying to pitch the PlayStation now as like a luxury item. Like, you get, like, Xbox is your value console, and not even as a disc. Like, you get the best value, 100%. Especially with their Game Pass. Like, insane value. If you get the disc, like the lower priced version with Game Pass, you have so many games for such a cheap price. But with Sony, I would say, like, it's the PlayStation experience. Like, it's the you get all of these, like, it's almost like saying like the Criterion collection, but for video games. Like, you get the classics, you get the cinema of video games with PlayStation. So I think that would be really cool if they did that moving forward into this generation, because then, like, good God, I'm so tired of console wars. So like, if you could just be like, hey, yeah, Xbox is more affordable, you get more bang for your buck. PlayStation is, if you grant, it will probably create a lot of elitism, but oh well. Like PlayStation is more like if you're gonna get like 4 games a year or something, but those 4 games will like change your life or something.
That's really
I
why
can
I got
get
my
that.
PS4. It's really the big draw for PlayStation for me has always been their exclusives. Like
Yeah.
that's really why. I mean, now I'm starting to play more online with it, but it's always been like, oh, let's play Last of Us. Let's play Last of Us Part 2. Like that's the big draw for me, and I think
Mhm.
that's what it should be really. Like
I remember I saw a poll on Twitter, I think it was a while ago, and someone asked, where do you play third-party games? And I remember Xbox actually being like number one. And
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I remember a lot of like, now I'm basing my opinion on YouTube or whatever. I know a lot of, when I watch like Call of Duty videos back in the day, I remember everyone was on Xbox. Everyone was playing Call of Duty on Xbox. Everyone was, and even when Fortnite began, now I believe Fortnite is more on the PS4 than Xbox. But I remember when it started, everyone was on Xbox. So for me, PlayStation was always the selling point for me, and it's the same thing with Nintendo. It's the exclusives. I go for those consoles because of the exclusives, because I can't play Mario on Xbox or PS4, and I cannot play Last of Us on Xbox, and never ever gonna be able to play it on a Nintendo. Nintendo can even handle it. Like I go for those consoles because of the exclusives and because of how attached I am to the said exclusives. Like it sucks that I can't play like Halo or Gears or just like I can't experience, I guess, the online community on Xbox, because I do believe like it's bigger on Xbox. But I rather not have that than not have Last of Us or Ratchet and Clank or Uncharted,
sure.
which are games that literally like made an impact in my life. So like I need those, and that's why I usually go with the PS4. And since I was a kid, I was always a PlayStation guy. Like I literally had PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, Vita, PSP, and now I'm gonna get the PS5. Like I always got the PlayStation.
Jeez.
My sister was a big PlayStation fan also, so she always went halfsies on me when it comes to like PlayStations. She kind of stopped caring about gaming and like PlayStation 3, but like it was always
No,
a big
I
thing
think
here in my house.
that the smartest thing, one of the smartest thing that Xbox has ever done, and I know that it's like a meme, but it's like selling them as like the Doritos, like Mountain Dew, like kind of like appealing to the like sort of like the jocks, like the cool guys, because then it kind of created this club, this atmosphere of like, yeah, let's play Madden and Call of Duty together, and like that'll be like a fun time, and then
honestly,
kind of skyrocketed them to like dominate that area.
Xbox has something going for them that I think it's way better than PlayStation has. They have Game Pass, which is without a doubt like the best service gaming wise out there. I was just talking with Javier a while ago. I was just checking out of curiosity PlayStation Now, and it's $10 a month, but most of the games are old games. While Game Pass, I believe, when a game comes out, it also comes out on Game Pass. Like they have it immediately day one on Game Pass, so you can start playing the day it comes out on Game Pass, and that to me is incredible. Like imagine that in a month, it comes Cyberpunk back when 2020 was going to be normal. Cyberpunk, Avengers, and I don't remember the third game, but there was a third game coming out. All of them in like May.
Yeah.
If I was going to buy them separately, it would cost me like almost $200. But if I had Game Pass, I could easily play all three for just one price. And that's incredible. And you can experience all games. And I believe EA Access is also free with Game Pass. So you get the Madden,
EA Access is now
FIFA,
included with that. So that means
for free. There's no extra cost. It's free.
Yeah.
So that's insane.
And
And I think Xbox is going the right direction with Game Pass. And honestly, if you think about it, if you get the Xbox Digital and get Game Pass, you pretty much settle for the entire generation because you're gonna get the game
I know,
first.
it's crazy.
There's no need to like waste more money than you're gonna waste on the digital version. I guess you might want to get another hard drive because it's probably going to be small. Yeah, it's only going to be 500 gigabytes, which in my opinion is kind of small. I was hoping for a 1 terabyte, but it's only 500 gigs.
Yeah, but then again, it's like also way cheaper. Like
Exactly,
again,
exactly,
like
exactly.
you get what
That's
you're
what I'm saying.
paying
Like
for.
any like maybe not flaw, but any like minor like it's this it's smaller. Everything can kind of be backed by the price. Like you're still getting I think a lot for what you're paying.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're getting a next gen console for what was it, $299? Yeah, so $300 for a next gen console is an insane price. I can't believe they're going that low. Yeah. Anyways,
And I was just gonna point out that okay, I forgot my thought. But yeah,
if you
it's
go to the
great.
next topic, then I'll remember.
It's great.
I was gonna say something if that's cool.
Go ahead.
Kind of not quite related, but I've always said like I think in a perfect world for video games, the draw should be the now I'm blanking the what do you call it? The exclusives on both sides.
Right.
And I know it'll probably never happen, but I think it would just be awesome to live in a world where everything's almost cross-play. Like I've always thought it sucks that we're limited to like, Pedro, let's play this game together. And he's like, I'm on PlayStation, I'm on Xbox.
Yeah.
I think if we ever made it to the point where you could play across whatever you're on and really the reason you have your console is for, Game Pass or this or that or this exclusive, I think that would be the best.
Are you talking about just third-party games or actually like imagine like being able to play Last of Us?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. Like that's what I'm saying. Third-party games, I think, if they all were cross-play, kind of.
Yeah.
Like if me and you wanted it, well, Fortnite does.
Yeah, Fortnite does. Right now, actually, we're going slowly towards that point right now because we have
really hoping we get it
Minecraft,
because
Minecraft, Rocket League, Fortnite,
Rocket League,
I
Avengers,
think
hopefully.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Rainbow
So like
Six
the thing,
Siege,
the thing is like if
Overwatch,
a game is
we're going there. We're
if
just
a game is going to be available, yeah. If
honestly,
a game is
sorry, you go. Sorry, my bad.
if the game is going to be available on like PC, console, on both or all consoles or whatever, like please don't lock off certain DLCs to like one console.
No.
I'm talking about the Avengers game.
No.
Like, come on.
No. You play Spider-Man.
I'm the biggest.
Exactly. Yeah. No, Pedro, that is exactly what we were talking about. Like, come on. Like,
and you see how
good
it's working? Javier is an Xbox fan. And if he had, I know for sure that Spider-Man came for Xbox, he would have gotten an Xbox copy. And yet he got a PS4.
True. Yeah.
So it's working.
So, like
this is something that happened
But that shouldn't be your marketing.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be. I'm not denying that that's a good marketing thing. Absolutely.
But this is something, in my opinion, it's something that happens a lot.
Sucks. Yeah, and it sucks.
And I don't. Yeah, but just because it happens a lot doesn't like. I think I could understand like this. I mean, really, it shouldn't be anything. But if it's like a piece of gear, costume.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Okay,
like whatever.
But a whole character is just.
So here's why I think. So the more I think about, the more I think the Spider-Man version of Spider-Man of Avengers is going to be the Spider-Man PS4.
But they confirmed it wasn't. Is the thing?
It's not going to be.
Oh, they said it wasn't not. Okay.
In the article they released, they kind of go into like, like we're building him from the ground up, and they like marked
because
like,
that to me makes
like,
sense. Why? Because to me that's
I wouldn't.
That would have made sense.
I would have understood that. But it's not.
It's PlayStation's take on Spider-Man, so it's technically their exclusive. Yeah. But that's what
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make PlayStation the place for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Did you see that
again,
Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy is going to be also exclusive for PlayStation for a while. I don't know how long, but it's going to be.
I thought it was
I thought it was always. Am I just missing something? I thought it was always exclusive to.
No, it wasn't always exclusive. I think I think Final Fantasy VII is exclusive because it was exclusive before. It was an exclusive title for PlayStation, but all other Final Fantasy games are on Xbox. But I read an article a while ago. It was saying basically Sony's strategy with the new generation is trying to get everyone to jump to a PlayStation, and by that they mean time exclusives. Actually, like acquiring.
It's a dirty move, but it's working.
It's a dirty move, but it's working. Like I agree that maybe you should all experience, but like I guess like okay, maybe I don't really care because I don't like any other Marvel character more than I like Spider-Man. But for example, if tomorrow they said Xbox will get only on Xbox Daredevil.
Wolverine or something.
Yeah, it
or
sucks
something
that I
like
won't be able to play Daredevil, but that's fine because I got Spider-Man. Xbox gets Daredevil.
That's what
I
I'm
know
saying.
it's not
Like,
the
if
same
we have-
character.
if the
That's the
other
thing.
It's not the
consoles
same
have something to
character.
Yeah, but
fall
that's the
back
thing.
on,
Like, if no one, like you just said, no other Marvel character is as popular as Spider-Man. Like, maybe Iron Man, but
And
like,
something
no,
I'm
like, that's the
curious.
thing. There's no comparison. You can't compare like having
it would be
Daredevil.
like if you made a Justice League game and was like, by the way, if you want to play as Batman, you need to get an Xbox. Like, it's really
Like,
bizarre
it's
to me.
That's curious.
Oh,
Something curious. So when they introduce crossplay, if I play with someone on Xbox and I'm Spider-Man, they're gonna say, "Nope, sorry,
I
bro.
was talking to a friend about this, and I feel like
It's gonna be
someone said, like, what if it
the
locks you
default
from your game?
skin
Like,
from
they're not gonna
Fortnite.
like have you not be able to play with your friend. Yeah.
It's gonna be the
But
default
I
skin
think
from Fortnite. I just know it.
that would be.
they're going to do one of two things. It'll either be that you can play as Spider-Man and you're just going to show off to everyone, or
Yeah, I
you
think that's
won't
what
be
it is
able to
gonna
play
be.
the mission with that character unless they're on the same platform. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Agree.
think so.
Okay.
Anyways,
So let's jump into the last point of the episode today, and that is our regular recommendation. So if you've seen the other two episodes, me and Matt usually end the episode with a recommendation of a game we either are playing right now or played that we think people should check out. So I'm actually going to be last because I have like two choices and I'm not sure which one I'll go first with this episode. So Matt or Javier, if any of you want to go.
if you have an idea, go ahead. But
Do you have yours? I can.
yeah, sure. I just finished replaying Dragon Age Origins. If Javier doesn't know, I'm a huge BioWare fan. That they're the company that got me into gaming. And I have high hopes for Dragon Age 4, despite everything that has been going on with their company in terms of development. But it's funny because something that actually occurred to me while I was playing it, and I don't know if anyone else has ever played Dragon Age Origins.
Mm-hmm.
It's largely hailed as like the best one of the franchise, and as I've been replaying it, I'm like, honestly, it's not as good as I remember it.
Damn.
And it's not, and I'm not even talking about the combat. 'Cause everyone always like if there's ever a complaint about that game, it's the combat. I actually think it's fine. I still enjoy the combat. I love that you like pause and then like you issue out your commands. And sure, it's slow paced, but I really enjoy the strategy. I actually didn't have as much fun with the characters and story this time, and I was wondering maybe it's because I like played it so many times and I know what's going on, but no, like I was one of the strengths of the game is that you can take the story in different directions, and even just on small scale with like the conversations you have and how they play out with your companions, or on a larger scale like what you do. And so like even when I was doing new things, I was like, this isn't as good as I remember. Like the characters, like the voice acting isn't as good as I remember. The character writing is kind of bland in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the characters is literally like, he's like this dwarf who is like this womanizer or something, and he's like a drunk. And then out of the blue, like you do one, like you help him reconnect with an old girlfriend, and then all of a sudden he's like, thank you for showing me the guy that I can be. I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I literally just chose the option of like stay silent while he talks to her. Like what or like it just kind of, it felt very bare bones in a lot of places. There's still some fantastic elements to it, story wise and character wise. Like the characters that everyone loves from the game, like Morrigan and Alistair, are still fantastic. I love the origins where you can choose a specific origin. You can be like an elf, or you can be a human, or you can be a human mage, or an elven mage, or like a dwarf noble, or something. Like there are so many variations, and it affects how the world reacts to you, etc. And a lot of Dragon Age fans might get angry with me, but I think a lot of what they do in Dragon Age Origins, they do better in Dragon Age Inquisition, which is, I I don't know. I'm gonna start playing Dragon Age 2 soon, which is my least favorite of the franchise. But I figured I might as well give it a shot since I have a very different opinion of Dragon Age Origins now. But we'll see. I would still highly, highly, highly recommend that people check it out if they haven't, because I think it's a great RPG in terms of most of the characters and most of the story. Especially if you've never played it before. I think it's a fascinating world. It's really, really dark world, actually. So if you're into really like edgy fantasy kind of, it's really fun. But yeah, it's sadly not as good as I remember it. Yeah.
Javier?
I'm at the point right now where I'm kind of going back and playing older games. I haven't really. Plus, it's also been kind of like dry when it comes to newer releases, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but this small indie trailer came out for this movie called The Batman, and it looked okay. So I
Yeah.
went back and watched some of the movies, and then one of the games that I never actually played, because I'm more into the Arkham games, was the Telltale Batman game. So I thought I'd
Yeah.
finally check it out.
Mhm.
And I got that on Switch because, again, like Pedro said, I like to get kind of the not tinier games, but they just kind of fit better on that platform and being able to take them
Yeah.
around. And I blew through it. Like, I was really surprised at how much fun I was having with it. I'm a more Marvel than DC, I think, but I'm a huge Batman fan, and I think a lot of the kind of twists and spins that they take on these like iconic characters from this mythos are really fun. And also, word on the street is like Matt Reeves is pulling a bit from the game, so I thought it'd be extra cool to
Oh,
check it
that's
out.
cool.
But I was really, really surprised with how much I enjoyed it. I don't want to like get too much into detail, but like Bruce's parents are a big part of it, and there's almost this conspiracy, like his hands aren't as clean as he thought. And it's really, really cool. And so there's 2 seasons at the moment. I don't know. I've heard that they might do a season 3 with like Telltale being bought or whatever. I don't know. I hope they do. But all the characters are really great. Performances are great. Troy Baker is Batman and Bruce, and I think he might be one of my favorite ones. Honestly, Kevin Conroy is the GOAT for all time. But I really like Troy. And the Joker also might be. I have a hard time saying this, but might be my favorite take that we've ever gotten. He's just so different from what we've seen, and really unique in how I forgot the name of the guy who plays him. It's the guy who, I don't know if you've seen that movie Age of Adeline, but he played the young Harrison Ford, and he got the job because he's very good at impressions. He does a lot of Joker impressions, and he got the part because he just kind of did his own thing. But it's really, really brilliant. He almost starts off as kind of like the Joker. I mean, starts off almost like a friend of Bruce's. I don't really want to spoil how they meet, but
That's really cool.
Really cool. Like, I'm really impressed with how many times I was surprised by the story. And a lot of the Telltale games, I'm a big fan of them, but some of them you don't feel as much of like you're making quite an impact with the choices you make. Some of them just feel like they don't make too much of a difference. But with this game, especially, I mean, you get a whole different episode practically depending on how you end a certain one. Especially there's a moment with Joker that almost decides, will he become Joker or will he be more of a hero? And it's very, very, very cool how they handle his characters. So I was really impressed and hoping we see more of that game in the world because it was a lot of fun to play through.
Okay. So I had 2 games I was thinking, so I'm gonna save the second game for the next episode because I kind of want to. I haven't beat it. I think I'm like 90% through it. It's a game that caused me a lot of pain, so I might as well finish it before I talk about it. The other game, one game I played this year, and one of our members, Razika, he actually recommended the game to me several times. He actually said that he would play Avengers if I played Hellblade. Sorry, not Avengers, Marvel vs. Capcom, if I play Hellblade. So we ended up switching, and I did play Hellblade, and it's incredible. It's basically kind of a walking simulator. It's basically you. I don't want to give too much of the story because I knew nothing, and I think that's the way you should get into a game. But basically, you have a task, you have to honor someone, and you have to walk through basically the entire of the. I'm blanking on the name of the Nordic mythology zone. I'm blanking on the name.
Scandinavia?
But what?
Scandinavia?
No. I'm blanking, but basically you have to walk through this huge world, and basically it's a game that really touches on really hard subjects, as depression, grief, and even anxiety to a point. And it's a game that I wasn't expecting, because I was just expecting something like Telltale, but it actually has a little bit of combat in between to make the game more interesting. The puzzles are very, very accessible. There's some that can be hard, but the game itself is very accessible, very fun. Fun. But the main point of the main takeaway of the game is really the story. And the story to me was such a dark and visceral take on losing someone. So basically, our character is experiencing grief, and basically the game channels that grief through very different types of emotions, dark emotions, and it was just something that that I think everyone needs to experience, because it really is one of the best like games I've played this year alone. But like, if I think overall, yeah, it's one of the best games ever. I have no idea what they're doing with the sequel, because to me the game felt like
I was gonna say it got a sequel.
yeah, it got a
announced, right,
sequel,
recently.
but there's rumors that the sequel is actually a prequel. It's not actually a direct sequel; it's a prequel. But if it's a sequel, I have literally no idea what they're gonna do. Like, there's to me the game felt so complete, so like just a one-off. Like, yeah, it's done. There's no more to this. Like, I don't know if you guys. I think Matt has the game. He hasn't played it yet, but he has the game.
I do. It's in my Steam library.
The game, if you play, let me know, because the game to me, the ending is like, I want to say perfect, because like it's not perfect in the sense like it's the best ending this character could get, but it felt complete. It felt finished. Like, there's nothing to do more, but somehow they're gonna do a sequel. So maybe you want to play the first one for the sequel. Okay, so that wraps up our third episode. This was a little bit longer than our previous episodes. Me and Matt are gonna get longer and longer episodes. There's gonna be one that's like 4 hours, just
It'll be
talking
like
about Mass Effect.
10 hours at the end.
Yeah, it's 10 hours of you talking about Mass Effect and me talking about
Oh,
Last
yeah.
of Us.
Incredible.
Which game is better, Mass Effect or Last of Us? A
Quality
discussion.
content.
So,
All
Javier, since you're our guest, do you have anything you want to plug? Your OnlyFans?
Stop. I don't know. Not really. There's this
Not
great
really?
channel called JustGaming. Hopefully, you guys are subscribed, because you should be. That'll be my
Bless.
plug. That'll be my plug.
Okay, I
What
think
a sweetheart.
Matt and me basically have usually the same plug, which is
Yeah.
subscribe to the channel. And I don't know if Matt's going to be in the next episode, but the next episode is a big one. Let's see if we can get Matt in there. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see if I can.
Please.
I'll have to clear my schedule.
It's a big one. Yeah, like, we're gonna have it. Our four main people of the channel are going to be in it. If Matt makes it, so it's going to be an OG episode. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you can, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.